How do you set up a really good template inside of GoHighLevel? Look, if you're a coach or an online course creator or something like that, sending emails should be easy, but it's only easy if you set up your email template to make it easy for you to create great emails, and your template has to be set up to get delivered and not sent to the spam folder. Otherwise, no one gets to see it, right? So today, I'm going to show you how to set up an email template in GoHighLevel so you can really quickly create an email, but also I'm going to share with you an important part of the template that bloody nobody talks about that's going to save you a lot of embarrassment and stress when you go, oh, I forgot to change that bit. I look like an absolute dweeb. It's like you don't make mistakes, you don't send emails with mistakes in them. It's got nothing to do with AI or anything like that. It's just some stuff you're going to set up in this template. Let's do it.
The Email Marketing Show.
Okay, we're going to get straight into setting up this template, and then I'm also going to show you one final thing towards the end that is pretty advanced, but it's a thing that you can put into your emails and your template that will automatically make you more sales. It's advanced, but it's really, really, really cool. So let's share my screen. Let's get into it. So you're going to be inside of your GoHighLevel account. I'm inside of mine. And you're going to click from the dashboard or whatever into marketing. That's the first bit. Then you're going to see all of these options. It's all very overwhelming, but just look along the top for emails. All right, click on that. All right. Once you're in emails, you're going to see a whole bunch of other stuff. You're going to see statistics, campaigns, templates. We're going to be setting up your templates, so you're going to click templates. Now, a template, just to remind us, the idea of a template is it's the default state of your email before you put your actual content into it. It's when you log in to create a brand new email, what does it look like? What are you dealing with? And what we want is to have a bunch of default stuff that's already pre-set out, pre-laid out, so that every time you send an email, you can just get on with really focusing on delivering some really good, valuable content that helps you bring in more clients and bring in more sales. You don't want to be dragging in the same stuff and changing all these colors and stuff every single time. You want to make sure you've got it all pre-set up. That's what a template allows you to do. So how do we do it? Well, like I said, we click on templates. We're going to, on the right-hand side, if you haven't got any yet, you won't have all this stuff that I've got. You're going to click on New, Blank Template. Blank template like that. You're going to get 3 options: Design Editor, Code Editor, Plain Text Editor. I'm sure before long we're going to see AI something or other, okay? We're going to click on the plain one. We want to set this up ourselves so we've got total control, because in general, if you have AI or anything else designed something for you, it's going to be way over-designed. You're going to immediately see something that looks a lot like this. So the first thing we're going to do is give it a name, because if you don't name it, it won't save properly. Believe me, I've made that mistake too. Most of what I'm sharing with you is because I've made that mistake too. You're going to hear that a lot, okay? So we're going to call this my new template for the email marketing show. And then we're going to hit enter on the keyboard, just like that, and then click save template, and then we know that this template's going to have a home. Lovely. So the next thing I want you to realize is I've done tests with thousands and thousands of clients, right? And one of the things that we tested a lot was the difference between newsletter-looking emails versus what looks basically like you've just sent an email from your Gmail account, a very plain-looking email. And across lots of different industries, we found that every single time that we strip out everything that looks like an email newsletter and make it look like literally you just typed it in your Gmail, when we make it look like it's just simply sent in a Gmail, it outperforms. It gets more opens, gets better deliverability, more people see it, and it gets more clicks, and it makes more sales. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip out anything that makes it look like an email newsletter. And yes, I even mean this blue backgroundy bit. It's pretty, but it's not effective. You would never be able to send, or you never want to send an email from your personal Gmail account that looked like that. Okay? So how do we do it? We're going to click on the section like this. When we do that, you'll be able to see down the left-hand side this lovely little drawer popped open. You see that? It was cool, huh? Drawer. Lovely, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, and we're going to find this option here, which is the background type. Content width, which is what it's currently selected to, or full width. And if we click full width, watch what happens up here. Boom. All that stretches straight out. Content, full. We want full width. So we're going to have that, definitely. I'm going to make sure the background is still set to white. Lovely. We're not going to have any image or pattern because that's distracting and also doesn't look very personal, because these personal-looking emails, even when they are promotional and marketing emails, always perform better. And just a quick note on that, we've even tested this with our clients who have got very visual businesses. They're selling art, or they're selling handmade jewelry. What they're selling is really visual. And I'm like, take all the pictures out of your emails. And I know right now you're watching this thinking, Kennedy, you've lost the plot. There's no way I could do that. Believe me, I have tested this in thousands of businesses. I've helped more than 9,000 paying clients with their email marketing. And this has only worked every single damn time. Because imagine you've got something that is visual. Unlike me, I teach email marketing. You might not have something that's visual. But if you do something that's visual, you know that they want to see it, which means if in the email itself you're describing the origin of the thing or the material it's made out of, and then you put a link for them to go and click and check it out and see what it looks like, you are driving more people to go and click, to go and see the picture of it, to go and watch the video demo of it. And the great news is, if that place happens to be your website, not only are they seeing the picture, but they're right next to the buy button where they can actually go and purchase or place their order or something. So even if you have a really visual thing, I really want to encourage you, inspire you to make your emails really, really basically text-based. I'm going to show you, right? So back into it. The next thing we're going to do is to make it in this sort of effort is, what you'll see there's like it's still a bluey grey bit underneath here, right? So we've got this lovely bit here, which is all full width and white, but this bluey grey bit, to fix that, we're going to click on this little paint roller. We're going to click there, and you're going to click on template. And the background color here, we're going to just set that lad to white as well. Lovely. I keep saving all the time in this. That's just a habit I've got into over the years of using GoHighLevel from when it wasn't as good at auto-saving and stuff like that. So you'll notice I keep clicking save because I don't want to lose any of my work. I advise you the same. So the other thing I would do while you're in here as part of it is to click on this. So you're in the paint roller still, in appearance, link. And this is what color, and these are the settings for what does a link look like in your emails. So I'm going to click on link, and lots of testing, you want it to be blue, because even these days, all these years on, a blue underlined bit of text says this is a link, you should click it. And I want to appeal to that psychology that's already built into the human system. So we want to change it to that. I don't default it to bold or italic, but I do default it to underline. So it's going to be underlined, it's going to be blue. Okay? We're going to click Save Template. Again, and we're going to change nothing in here. So that is all gravy. So now we know what that all looks like. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop back over into here and start making some changes within the actual body of the default email here. So what I recommend you do is just delete the stuff that's already in there. And that means you're going to end up with this little area here. Don't worry, that won't look like that. That's just that little grey bits just to show you where to drop things into. You're going to click the plus sign at the top left-hand corner and drag in a text block. It's going to look like this. But again, it's got a heading. I don't want a heading. I would never send a real email that had a heading in it. So I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to end up with paragraph text. Lovely. Well, now I'm going to set up some other spacing things with this paragraph text. First thing is, you'll notice there's a big gap to the left-hand side. That is being set by this thing over here. So just because I've selected this area of text, this drawer here is open. So let me close that, and then if I click on there again, it'll open again. You'll see here there's padding on. You can turn the padding off. I would not recommend you do that. I made that mistake. I'll show you why you don't want to do that. If this is your text and you wanted to add a word before this word, it's very difficult. Actually, I've just done it for the very first time in my life, but as it would happen. But it's pretty difficult to get your cursor and just put a word at the beginning of that paragraph. So I would add the padding on, but I would reduce this from 24, which is this massive gap, to just 5 pixels. And I would do that on both sides, just on this end as well. It's 5 pixels, just so that it is it's just so it's symmetrical. I think I said pixels there, not pickles. But if I said pickles, just enjoy that, folks. Just enjoy that. So next is, if it's on size 14, so we've now got the padding is only 5 and 5. That's a really important one. Because most people are reading these emails on mobiles these days, the mobile usage, I'm sure like you, I read most of my emails on my phone. We want the text to be a bit bigger. And what I'm finding is I would be going anywhere between 16 and 20 pixels on most fonts. Okay, so 16 looks like that. I mostly do 18 because it just makes it really easy on the eyes. The best way to test this, by the way, is to basically, this says this add text to your email. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to duplicate it again. The top one, I'm going to make it, what I'm going to say is going to be too small, and I'm going to write the word 14 next to it. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to make that 16, and I'm going to write the number 16 next to it. And I'm going to write the number 18 next to this one and make it 18. I'm going to do it one more time. Basically, I want to do this where I think that one's probably going to be too big, but I want to be sure. Then what I would do is I would send yourself a test email. Send test email. And then just when you see it on your phone and then on your desktop, look at which one you think looks the right size. Usually for me, I think it's either 16 or 18. But obviously make sure you're putting the number in there so you know what font size that was. That says 14 because I made the text 14. That says 16 because that was 16. Just so you can really clearly see which one is which on the on the phone. All right? Cool. All right, so we would send test email and you would do all that stuff. Fine. So let's imagine we've decided it's going to be 18, which is what I think mostly it's going to be, if I'm honest, but it is personal preference. So we're going to set that as 18. And what we're going to do with it? Well, we're going to add in some default text. Let me just grab it from this little document I've got to my left here. And here, this is a huge thing. What I'm about to give you right now is going to save you so much frustration, so much annoyance, so much, I'm an idiot. Make sure you do this. If you do one thing from this video, do this thing, okay? Please. This is the default text. The default text is, hey there, contact first name. So that's gonna merge in their name there because it does that by magic, right? Normal stuff. It looks like I hit send on this email before saving it properly. Sorry about that. I will notice soon and then follow up with the email. Let me be helpful if I showed you this on camera, right? Hey there, first name. It looks like I hit send on this email before saving it properly. Sorry about that. I will notice soon and then follow up on with the email I meant to send you, along with an apology, I am sure. Look out for it. This was born out of the fact that sometimes what I used to have in here, instead of this, I would have write email here. And then every now and again, the email wouldn't save properly because my internet dropped out because I was working from my balcony or on vacation, or I was working from a train or a plane or something like that. It just didn't save before I hit send, and they just loads, thousands of people were receiving an email that said write email here. That's not very helpful, right? So instead, I have this default message, which not only, I'm going to click save on it, not only says this is not what I was supposed to send you, but also it foreshadows, it tells them about they should be receiving another email. You'll actually notice your next email gets a higher open rate than even this email did, than your normal emails do, because it's telling people to go actively look out for that email. Very, very, very powerful. So make sure you do that, okay? So you're going to have some default text, right? Hopefully you can see so far, right? We're not even halfway there yet, but hopefully you're enjoying this. And if you are enjoying this, question for you. Are you subscribed to these videos? Are you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, why the hell not? No, I'm kidding. But if you haven't already subscribed, make sure, because it looks like you're really enjoying this content because you're still sticking around. So make sure you hit subscribe, even hit the bell, and that means you will get a notification when I send out more videos like this, which I do multiple times every single week when I make brand new videos that are designed purely to help you to make more sales from your email marketing, bring in more clients, make you wealthy as heck, right? So make sure you hit subscribe. And also by subscribing, it lets me know that you're enjoying these videos and I'll keep making more of them. And of course, when you subscribe, these videos will actually show up in your feed and you won't miss out on them. If you want to receive my daily email tips for free, all these tips around how to increase your sales from your email marketing, go to emailmarketingheroes.com/daily and you can get on my list and I'll send you hints, tips, inspiration, ideas, and even recommendations of things you can do to increase your sales from your email marketing. emailmarketingheroes.com/daily. Get my free daily tips, my famous daily tips as they're called. So back into how we're doing this. So now we are going to get into the next frustrating bit. What most people do at this point in setting their template up, and I made this mistake, as part of their sort of default block here, is they'll put their signature sign off in. They'll go, thanks, speak soon, Kennedy, CEO, founder, and bad hairstyle at Email Marketing Heroes. And they'll do that, and they'll go, great, that's my default email. I can tell you, by doing this thousands of times where I've been really pissed off with myself, this is what will happen is, you'll come in, you'll have this default template, and you'll go, great, I'm going to write my email in there. You'll hit Command and A on your phone, on your keyboard, or Control and A. You'll hit delete and be like, hey, here's my email. And you'll go, oh, I've deleted my signature. And you'll have to type it in by hand again. I'm going to save you a lot of heartache. Here's how you make sure that doesn't happen. Again, to speed up how quickly you can send out a really good email. What you're going to do is you're going to click duplicate. You've set this block out. You know that it's got the right padding. It's got the right font size. So just click this little duplicate button, which is here, duplicate button. It duplicates that block. I'm going to remove my signature from this block. And I'm going to just leave the signature in this block. So now they look like they're in the same block, because when you've got nothing selected, it looks like they're all together. But actually, this signature is in a separate block. Simple thing. Kennedy, why is that so important? Let me show you. Because when you come to write your wonderful new email, you're going to click on this block where you want to type your new email. You're going to click Control and A, delete, and you're going to type your lovely email. But you haven't deleted, because it's in a separate block, you haven't accidentally deleted the signature that you put so much effort into. So put your signature in a separate block. That's just a really good little hack that's really going to help you. The next default you're going to want to set, because this is the one that I have made the mistake with the most, and that is the subject line. It's easy to type out a wonderful email and then forget to set up a subject line, to forget to send a subject line in there before you hit send, and they get some random subject line that you use in a past email once and it makes absolutely no sense. Can you tell I've been there, done it? Yes, loads of times. So we're going to set up a subject line that works no matter what is in the email. I'll tell you what that subject line is going to be in a second. So in GoHighLevel, to set up this default subject line, you're going to click on the three dots here. You're going to click on settings, and you're going to set up your subject line here. You're going to set your from name here. That's going to be like your name and stuff. You're going to set your from email address, wherever you send your emails from. You're going to set those things up, whatever they're going to be. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. You're going to set a default subject line, which is the subject line is going to be there if you forget or you don't update the subject line. And here's the one to use, because what you're going to remember when you're setting this default subject line is it has to work and be relevant no matter what is in the email. Whether it's a content email saying, hey, go check out my YouTube video, or it's a thing saying, go check out my Facebook group, or it's the sale is ending, or I'm announcing this thing, whatever's going on. So what is that subject line? I've done a lot of thinking, a lot of processing on this, a lot of meditating, not quite, on this. And the answer is this. It's the simple thing, but it was hard to get to. You are going to click on the little tag thing, and you're going to click contact first name. Just their first name. No matter what's in that email, if the subject line just has your first name in it, it is going to be relevant. There's not going to be a massive gap in relevancy. So that's going to be the default. I don't, because I know this question is going to come up. I always get this question when I'm doing trainings. What's the default preview text? There is none. Because if you don't, preview text is that little bit of text that's right next to the subject line on your email inbox. So when you see it on your phone, it's right underneath. When you see it on desktop, it's right next to it. It's a preview of the content of the email. You can set that on an email by email basis, but don't do it as a default because it won't be relevant. If you don't put anything in that preview text box, it will just show the beginning of the email that was being sent, which is better. So you're going to click save once you've set your default subject, default from name and from email address. You're going to click save, and then, again, I've fallen foul of this, click save template again. You need to click save in both those places. That's really important. I've fallen foul of it. I'll say it again. Once you've typed this in the template settings, you're going to click save there, and you're going to click save again, if that thing will get out of the way. That will make sure it's saved. So now we've always got a good and relevant, and definitely not irrelevant, email subject line. So other things you might want to put into your default template here are, they've introduced this wonderful feature that I really like called the preview URL. So all I've done is I've clicked the plus button over here. That opens this lovely drawer of different things you can drop into here, and you can do different things. You can put buttons in and videos and all this cool stuff. You probably don't want to do any of those things by default in your template. So, but one of the things you might want to put in there is the preview URL. And you'll see what this looks like. That is, view this email in browser. Some people like to, rather than scrolling down through your email, they like to click and read your emails in the browser. Let them do it. This allows you to do it. Now, what's really nice about this is you can replace this text, read this online. Here. I'm just updating the text. I don't need, and I can't even set the destination or where that links to, because GoHighLevel is going to do it automatically. What GoHighLevel is going to do is behind that link, the link that it creates behind there is this one, right? Is this one here. And that is automatically creating a online page on the internet somewhere with your email's content in it. It does it for you. You don't have to create the page. You don't have to duplicate it and paste in your email. Nothing. It does it automatically by dragging in that element that is called, let me just remind you, it's called preview URL. All right? So you could add that in. That's another thing you might want to do. There's a couple of final things in that you want to put in. One of them is really super exciting. I haven't forgotten about that, and it's really, really cool. But before that, I think there's another thing I really would recommend you do. Now, this is not legal advice, but what I would recommend you do is have some kind of legal disclaimers in the bottom of your emails. And depending on your industry, you might have some very robust, very tight legals that you need to put in the bottom of your emails, right? I don't have that kind of thing in my industry because I'm in the marketing industry and it's not as regulated, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click duplicate here. So I've got a new block, which has already got the same settings as this. And I'm going to grab a couple of things. The first thing I'm going to do is have a disclaimer. The disclaimer I like to have in is basically say, well, I'm going to just paste it in now so you can see it. It basically says, if you buy anything through any of the links in my emails, I might get paid or compensated in some way. So if I'm promoting my own thing, that's obvious. But if I'm promoting somebody else's thing, I want it to be clear that if people buy through my links, that I'm going to be compensated. You have to do that legally. And also I say, look, I'm trying my best to actually make these things accurate, but every now and again I might make a mistake, and that could be a typo. I might misremember something, I might misunderstand something, and of course sometimes I'll do some research using AI and it might give me the wrong information, but I can only do my best. But I want people to be clear and honest and say, look, sometimes I make mistakes, I just want you to know that. And also I basically have, I might get compensated, and also anything I say in here isn't saying you will definitely get the same results. Because again, I like to be clear and honest with people. This is not legal advice. I haven't even had this checked by a lawyer. This is just what makes me feel comfortable. The next block I want to put in, underneath that one, so I'm going to put another little block, which I'm going to do by duplicating. And the next block is, I want to remind people why they're getting this email. Because sometimes we receive emails and we're like, why the hell am I getting this email? Like, who is this person? I don't remember. Because we're all so busy, even if they did sign up for your emails. So I have a little block that I like to put in, which is how they're getting their emails. Why are they getting my emails? So you're receiving these emails because you signed up through my website at mywebsite.com for tips about, now when they read this, they're like, oh yeah, I was interested in that topic, email marketing in my case. But if you changed your mind, you can go and unsubscribe, and we'll let them go and do that. Okay. And we give them the link to unsubscribe. We must put the unsubscribe link in. How do we do that? Let me show you. What you're going to do to put the unsubscribe link in, otherwise it'll force a horrible one on the bottom, is you just create a new line for a second. It's a bit of a weird way of doing it, but it's the way you have to do it. At least the way that I know how to do it. And you're going to go up here, and you're going to click on custom values, and you are going to click email. So email, unsubscribe link. And that's going to give you this little bit of merge code. That's what I call a merge code. You're going to cut that, Command and X, or Control and X, and then unsubscribe here. I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to click up here where the link is. So I can put a link in, and I'm going to paste that in there. Save. Now that will be my unsubscribe link. Done. So make sure you've got your unsubscribe link right in there as well. The final thing that you certainly have to have in the UK, many parts of the world. Again, none of this is legal advice. I don't know anything really. I'm not qualified in anything, but this is what makes me feel comfortable. Is to have your address, and in the UK, my registered UK company number. You have to have a registered UK company in the UK, and that would be where you put that in. Obviously, I've just put a random one in there just for this example, but this is our company address, and this helps with the CAN spam regulation compliance. What you can do, just so you know, is because it looks a bit weird having this lovely text and then all of this right underneath, is what I like to do is put a little bit of space, come to the left-hand side here, bit of margin, and put in just a bit of space. Not too much. We don't want it to be like where it's 3,000 places down so that it's off the bottom of the email, because again, that's not compliant. It means people can't easily unsubscribe from your emails. But we do want to have a bit of space that says, oh, the content of the email has ended here. Little bit of space, and they can go, great, that's the legals. And it starts off with the word disclaimer anyway, so they can see if they want to read that, it's there, but also it's not part of the main body of the email. Hopefully that makes sense. One final thing I would say you should do with these things, before we get into the really exciting thing, is you might want to reuse these blocks, some of these blocks, in other emails that you send. And so what you can do is, let me say I have this really wonderful email signature. In fact, that's actually a different way of doing an email signature. You could use images. If you're like, that looks plain and boring, let's say you click plus, you drag an image in, right? So I've just dragged that in. Image URL. So I'm going to go here, click the little pencil next to image, upload from media library, and I just made an image before, which I think will work well. In fact, no, I'll upload a new one. Click upload. And I'm going to upload this picture here. Click on it. Click insert media. And I've now created a much more visually interesting signature. So I do that. I'm going to make it left aligned, because obviously it looks weird in the middle. So down here, you can see alignment left. There's that. There's 20 pixels of space. I'm going to make that 5 to match everything else. And then I might do that. Okay, so that's a different way of doing a signature in case you want to have something more visual. Like, I'm not saying it has to be as obnoxious as that. You might have a picture of yourself or something like that to make it more personal, more human, something like that. You might want to reuse this across different emails across the whole system. So what you can do with any block that's inside of here, but let's just say it's this one, you can click the little, it looks like a little floppy disk from back in the day, and that means save. You click on that, it spins a bit, and you can actually save that section. And you can rename it. Let's call this Kapow Signature. And that means when I'm making any future email, I can drop that in. And it also means if I accidentally delete this, oops, I've deleted it, I can click into this, we were over here before. I can click on the saved items, and I can drag this lovely little fella back in again. And it's exactly as I set it up. You might want to do that with your unsubscribe block. You might want to do that with your disclaimer block. You might want to do it with your address. You might want to do it with certain elements of emails that you're going to use across your entire system. There is one final cool thing that I've been promising you, and that's this really cool feature that's called conditional sending. Let me show you something awesome. So let's imagine that you have in your system a bunch of people you want to ascend to your mastermind. So I'm going to create a new block. So I'm going to create duplicate. I'm going to paste this in. And it says, P.S. Do you know about my Director's Room program? It's specifically for people making over $20,000 per month, and I'd love to have you in there. I think you get tons out of it. I'm going to format that so that it matches. So it's going to be in size 18. I'm going to have not two signatures because it was doing my head in. I'm going to grab this, drag it below. Now, of course, I don't want everybody receiving that. And this is when conditional stuff comes in. What you can do is you can click on you can grab any block, in this case, this one, click on visibility. And instead of edit, where we've been playing around, visibility, and click conditional sending. How cool is this? You can then say, look, I've got this custom field. And in my case, we have a field which tells us about the monetary value of how much each of our customers have spent. So I'm going to look for the word monetary. There we go. Monetary is, so let's say I only want this block to appear to contacts where they've already spent more than $2,000 with me, this will only appear for clients where that field called monetary is at least 2,000 or is 2,000. So what you can do here is you can use these blocks to make offers to people based on what's in a custom field. Think about that for a second. You could have it so that, do they have this product? Yes or no? If that block if that content block, if that custom field says no, they don't have X product, then show them the ad, the bit of text that promotes that product. Automatically in every email. Imagine you could just have a thing that says, P.S. I'm open for enrollment with my coaching program, but only people who've never been on your coaching program before receive that. And you don't need to keep adding promotions in the bottom of every single email. It's already there by default. How wild is that, right? Now, one of the things you need to do next with this is you need to know how to put some really good content into these emails. Like, you're going to have this. You're going to click Save Template, right? And then, and in terms of how do you use it? Okay, you go back. Let's go back. Let's say we're going to actually write that email now. Let's quickly show you this. You're going to be here. You're going to be here. You're going to click on Marketing, which will load this up. You click on Emails. You're going to click Create Campaign, Your Templates. And then you're going to just search for whatever you called it, New Template EMS. Click Yep. And then there it is. There's that default that I can now click Command A and type your fantastic email in here, and all of that stuff is already built. And it always looks amazing based on your brand. That's awesome. But what the heck do you put in these emails? That's the next tricky bit, and come up with new ideas of content. So the good news is I have another video where I show you 365 ideas of content you can put in your emails that'll convert and that will bring your audience close to you. Go watch it. It's in this video right here. Go watch that, and I'll see you in that video.